Today you're going to experience my first ever triathlon race, and a triathlon I've never heard before until I was scrolling Facebook and my local YMCA had a post. Yes, you saw it right, an indoor triathlon. This is done in an indoor pool, a stationary bike, and a treadmill. All inside. Very interesting, right? As someone who is completely new to triathlon, I felt like this was a great way to get my feet wet. Get it? Like getting your feet wet and you swim in triathlon. Okay, I'm sorry I did the pun. I'm sorry. To make you feel better, here's a picture of me before the start looking like Paul. You're thinking,
how do you race people in a public gym in an indoor triathlon? Isn't there like a lot of people signing up and limited space? How do you even do a mass start?
Well, let me just explain the rules. First of all, it's not a mass start. The race is in heats, with 8 people per heat. You compete with others by how far you go within a fixed amount of time, versus how fast you can go with a fixed amount of distance like traditional triathlons. You swim for 10 minutes, bike for 30 minutes, and run for 20 minutes. You have 10 minutes to transition from the swim to the bike, and then 5 minutes to transition from the bike to the run. And then the person with the most overall distance covered wins. Seems simple enough, right? Now you're probably thinking,
is ranking people by how far you can go even fair?
I'll explain exactly how this was scored after the race, and how I think it should have been scored. Anyways, I know you're impatient, so here's me telling you to like and subscribe. It really helps out my channel and creates a better relationship between me and the YouTube algorithm. If we get at least 1 more subscriber from this video, I'll go outside and run barefoot in the snow. Seriously, I'll do it. Okay, here's the race. Okay, so I'm just going to be going over all the equipment I'll be using for the indoor triathlon that's happening tomorrow. First of all, I have my race shoes. I'll be using that on the treadmill. Pretty simple, just some Saucony Endorphin Speeds. A set of bike shoes with clips on them. So we'll see if those work. If these don't work, I'll just bike in these shoes. I have some goos that I'm gonna take during the race also. I have a heart rate monitor that I may or may not put on. We'll see. I got my clothes, just generic shorts and a muscle t-shirt, swim trunks, camera that I'll be using to film myself. Hopefully they allow filming tomorrow. I got a sweat towel because there's going to be no fans for the run or the bike. That'll be fun. I have 2 water bottles with Gatorade powder in them. I'm hoping to only take 1, but I have a spare just in case. Here's my swim cap and goggles inside here. These are my primary ones. I'll be putting all this in my backpack here, just my running shoes and water bottles and all that to switch out during transition. And then I have my spare goggles and swim cap just in case my other ones break for some reason. And then I have my other bag for all my backup stuff and things that I don't need during the bike and run. That is all of my stuff. Isn't that right, Cosmo? It's kind of hard to see him with the cone, but he looks sad.
All right, you're about to start. How you feeling?
A little nervous, but I think that's normal. I'm gonna start here in like 19 minutes, so just waiting a bit. I'm gonna get ready in the locker room and I'll be ready to head out. So,
yay!
Yeah. Here is the start of the swim. Luckily, I was the only person in my lane, so I didn't have to worry about swimming near another racer. We had a total of 10 minutes to swim as far as we could. I tried to count laps, but after around 3 laps or so, I lost count. They said they would blow a whistle when the time was up, but I knew I wouldn't be able to hear that, so I had to rely on the time on my watch to know when to stop. Throughout the swim, I felt really good the whole way. There was just a little fatigue in my arms, but that was relatively easy to fight through. After a while, I did check my watch while finishing a lap, and saw I had 1 minute and 20 seconds to go. So I swam as fast as I could to get 3 more lengths in, and I managed to get it before they blew the whistle to stop. I swam a total of 23 lengths, totaling 575 yards, or 0.355 miles. After this, I had 10 minutes to get changed and get ready for the bike. That's the next transition, right?
Yep.
After changing, I ran up to the studio room where all the stationary bikes were. Everyone had the same bike model. giving me the peace of mind that distance will be measured fairly. I took a goo, drank some fluid, and waited to go. At the beginning, I didn't hear the person say go, and I didn't really start biking until 1 minute into the race. We had a total of 30 minutes to bike as far as possible. I was averaging about 220 watts and 24 miles per hour according to what my machine was telling me. There were no fans to blow air to in the room, and due to this, it was the most I've ever sweat when biking inside. After a tough 30 minutes, some drops of sweat, and a few angry faces, I managed to bike a total of 11.26 miles and was ready to stumble my way to the treadmill for the running portion of the race. I managed to change my shoes and set up all my gear with less than a minute to go. 20 minutes of running and using all the remaining energy I had left. I tried going as fast as I could, but as usual, I had a problem. I looked down at the treadmill dashboard and sure enough, it says, unable to attain target speed, and I was locked at a max speed of 7 miles per hour. After a while of consistently trying to increase my speed, the treadmill slowly started to ramp up. And on the last 5 minutes of the run, the treadmill made it to the desired speed that I wanted. I don't know why it did this, but either way I managed to use all the energy I had in the last 5 minutes, and I got a distance of 3.1 miles at the end. So in total, I went 14.71 miles. That was the race. How'd I do? Well, this is how I did. Thank you. Thank you. There is supposed to be an actual trophy, but I haven't received it in the mail yet. If I do get it before this video is published, here it is. But I'm just gonna use this for now. I felt really good the whole race, and I'm very happy with my results, given this was my first triathlon ever. I have a couple of comments about this race. First, let me get started on the good stuff. This race was a lot of fun. It was really cool to race next to people consistently the whole time, unlike racing outdoors. And just the idea of doing a triathlon while it's below freezing outside just makes it really surreal to me. I also believe that this is a perfect race for beginners. A lot more people can find out if they actually like triathlon or not without that big of an investment. This race for me cost $25, which is extremely cheap, the cheapest you will ever come by. I'm surprised I've never heard a race like this before. I believe if we had more of these around, a lot more people would start getting into triathlon. This is because you can go into races like this and you don't have to invest a lot of money in bike equipment, a very expensive bike, swim gear, run gear, anything like that. You can just sign up for this event and try it out and see if you like it. So despite the really good things about this triathlon, there was a problem on a competitive standpoint, and that's the scoring system. How they scored this race was by total distance covered by all 3 disciplines, and whoever had the highest total distance was the winner. Do you see the problem with that? If not, let me explain. Suppose person A, let's call him Sam, was a really good swimmer and runner, and was okay at biking. And person B, let's call her Zoe, was really bad at swimming and running, but was really good at biking. The swim starts, and Sam swims twice as far as Zoe, swimming 0.3 miles, while Zoe swims 0.15 miles. On the bike, Zoe bikes 12 miles, while Sam only bikes 10 miles. Here, Zoe biked 20% faster than Sam. On the run, Sam runs 3 miles, while Zoe only runs 2 miles, meaning Sam ran 50% faster than Zoe. From these results, who do you think would have won? If we measure just off total distance, Zoe is the winner with 14.15 miles, while Sam gets second with only 13.3 miles. But that makes no sense. Sam destroyed Zoe on both the swim and the run. How did he lose? Well, it's because when you decide who wins by total distance, swimming and even running have a very little effect on your result as opposed to biking. And that's because you just naturally go faster at biking than you do swimming or running. This makes the scoring of all 3 disciplines heavily skewed towards the bike, making this scoring style not fair. This is because it doesn't evenly distribute how well you do in all 3 disciplines. If I was a pro biker, I could have not swam or run at all and saved all my energy for the bike. And I would have most likely won the whole event if I had just biked 4 miles farther than everybody else. I don't know about you, but I don't think a person who just bikes should win a triathlon event. That's why I think they should determine who wins based off a scoring system. This scoring system is calculated based on the percent distance you went compared to the fastest person in each discipline. Here's what I mean by this. If we took Sam and Zoe's results again and calculated them based on a 1,000 point scoring system in each discipline, in the swim, Sam went the furthest, so they would get 1,000 points, while Zoe went half the distance, giving them only 500 points. In the bike, Zoe went the farthest, earning her 1,000 points, while Sam only gets 833 points. On the run, Sam gets 1,000 points for running the farthest, while Zoe only gets 667 points. Running the numbers, Sam would have a total of 2,833 points, while Zoe would have a score of 2,167 points, making Sam the winner. I believe this makes a lot more sense. Because on top of Sam beating Zoe on 2 out of the 3 events, he also performed better on the bike than Zoe did on the swim and the run when you compare the scores. This makes Sam the deserving champion of the race. This scoring system isn't a brand new system either. It has been done before in the 1980s, according to Top End Sports and Wikipedia. I would source what Wikipedia sourced, but those websites are expired, so I'm going to say Wikipedia. So all in all, this is how I think they should have scored this event to make the competition fair. Technically, you could say that the bike wasn't that fair either because they only measured distance based off watts and not watts per kilogram, which yes can make things on the bike unfair, but we won't go into that. If this scoring system took place, the overall results would have changed for my race. Here's what the results were based on total distance, and here are the results based on the scoring system. Don't worry though, either way, I come out as the winner. This is all mine. You can never take this away from me. It's my precious. All bragging aside, this was my local YMCA's first time hosting an event like this. And if I don't look at this from a competitive standpoint, this was a really fun race, and I wouldn't hesitate to do it again next year. So I would like to give them props for that, and say thank you for letting me get started in triathlon by doing this race. I would not have been as confident as I am now for future triathlon races if it wasn't for this event. And that's all I gotta say. As always, have fun, stay healthy, and don't do this. Don't keep all your files on one hard drive. Back them up.